Hey all, welcome back. Today I'd like to talk about something that's near and dear to everyone's heart. And to start off, I'd like to take a moment to address all the hate that's been going around. Yeah, it's pretty well deserved. I don't know what you were expecting there. I mean, I get that there's only a few types of personalities that can succeed in business nowadays, but that also leaves me wondering. Is there just something about being a tech billionaire that turns you into a supervillain? Like, at what point during the entrepreneurial journey does killing James Bond from space become a thing? And while it's true America's relationship with corporations has always been complex, I still can't help but feel like we're stuck playing a game where we're all pieces on a board, where everything is already bought, and the owners sit off to the side hoarding all the get-out-of-jail-free cards. And if you're like me, you're probably thinking, how did we get here? When did we go from being number one to whatever the hell we are now? And let me tell you, narrowing down on the culprit was no easy task. But after doing an in-depth analysis of all the problems plaguing corporate America, it became abundantly clear to me what the real problem was. See, among the venture capitalists, shareholders, and hedge fund managers, there looms the dark shadow of the where investor. Normally, he is like any other savvy entrepreneur, with a thorough understanding of market trends and long-term planning. But then, once every quarterly fiscal moon, their instincts are overpowered by a ravenous hunger for short-term profit, and they transform into a hideous beast. The where investor has no conscious thought. It simply devours everything in its path in pursuit of profit, regardless of rules or regulations. Trying to reason with one is like telling a goldfish to stop eating or a Karen not to overreact. It's just not in their nature, and we shouldn't expect it to be. And of course, like all terrible blood curses, it has a tendency to spread. Sometimes the CEO can't stop them all. Sometimes he gets bitten and becomes one too. And other times he panics because in an effort to reduce costs he stopped using silver bullets and now has to outsource to a foreign entity that may not have his best interest at heart. That and the dramatic change in financial compensation that's taken place over the last 30 years. CEO pay has gone up exponentially, while other forms of compensations have remained stagnant. That's because nowadays the majority of CEO pay comes from stock options and share prices, as opposed to an actual salary. This gives them the incentive to jack up those share prices in any way possible, and sometimes it's to the detriment of their own employees. In some cases, worker pay actually decreased. We're literally living in a world where the illusion of wealth is actually more profitable than the success of the company itself. The ratio of tangible wealth versus the alleged market wealth has long since been out of balance. So much so that entire banks have gone under just from wealthy benefactors withdrawing their money all at once. Financially, we're living in the Wild West without a sheriff. And I think we all remember what happens when there's no sheriff. Or in our case, the sheriffs are allowed to take infinite campaign contributions from the outlaws, and thus has a vested interest in further rigging the system against its own constituents. I mean deputies. So by now you're probably thinking, are we screwed? Is our capitalist society doomed to fail because of an oligarchy of 80s cartoon villains? Well, to answer that, I'd like to take a moment and talk about a guy named Idris Strauss. He was an early 20th century US congressman and co-founder of a small retail outlet you've probably never heard of. His life was going great, till he unexpectedly died in April of 1912. Want to guess where? That's right, I have no idea what you guessed because this is pre-recorded. But the answer is the Titanic. And you might be thinking, wouldn't a successful business owner and politician be able to find his way to a lifeboat? Well, he did, and he refused to get on it because there were still children on board. So you're probably wondering, what was the point of that story? Well, other than an excuse to draw tiny boats, it's this. You can't know someone's character by their wealth, status, or job title alone. Until the ship starts sinking, there's no way to know if they're the type of person to throw you a life raft, or the type to hold your head under the water until all the bubbles stop. See, capitalism on its own isn't bad. It got us out of the Great Depression and made us the economic powerhouse of the world for over 50 years. But like all powerful things, they become a problem when the nearsighted old guys start waving them around. And that's exactly why we need rules and regulations to keep society on track. Because without them, things get... yeah. We need to elect politicians who are willing to step up and house train our CEOs so they don't chew on the furniture or bite small children. We need laws in place to help entrepreneurs build better businesses and enrich society, while at the same time protecting us from those who want to tear it down. Long-term investments are key. And at the end of the day, society is the best long-term investment anyone can make. So yeah, those are my thoughts. You can go away now.